Hey guys, welcome. Um, Thank you everyone for being so patient. Laura is on her way. I didn't realize when I sent the stream earlier that I had actually sent um not the correct link. I had sent um her the homepage link to StreamYard, not the like actual link for her and I to use. So oops. She is on her way in though. So that'll be super great. There she is. Okay. And it's
Hello.
hello. Um I feel like we should update your Muppet casting to like co-host extraordinaire at
I
this
do like
point.
Muppet casting though, because it's just funny.
It is. It is. Like if you've been around long enough, you get it. Let me see here. My husband was messing around with all of my stuff up here, and things have gotten unplugged, and now I have to figure out the things and the stuff that have becometh undone, which is incredibly annoying. All right, now we should be good. Ha! Let there be light. Okay. I felt like my One Day at Horrorland shirt gave Vengeful bitch cover vibes. And then I wore my
Ooh,
focus.
spooky graveyard.
Yeah, or the spooky graveyard toppers. I was like, I feel like these are the vibes for this evening.
I like it.
I felt like they just worked. The
Balloons.
balloons. Um, I am in the process of adding the slides. Google Slides. Did you send them to the Kayleigh Creates email?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Let me add those up real quick. Whoops. Return to studio. Let me see here real quick. Hold on. Present. Slides. It's a Claudia.
Claudia. Hi.
Oh, maybe it's. Okay, I think it's done being angry now.
My cats are being very weird today.
What are your cats doing today?
They're just getting into trouble that they don't normally get, things they don't normally get into.
Heckin' boys.
So it's different sounds. So if you see me going, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm like, is that cat or is that ghost?
Cat or ghost. We love that. Always love it. Oh God. What did I do?
Hi. Always appreciate the support.
Hi. I'm going to be mute because I haven't finished yet. Also, we are playing Dead by Daylight over in G. Oh, hell yeah, I'm gonna. That may, well, it's a combination. I got off in time. I finished at 7. But then my daughter is not feeling well.
Oh, it is.
The weather change has like all the kids in her school with like these raging allergies. And some boy kissed my daughter at school on Friday. It's been a whole thing. We're like, does he not know she's betrothed? It's been a whole thing. But
I will hunt that little kid down if
so
she
cute.
does not want it and doesn't want him to do it anymore. The kid will get a life lesson.
No, they're adorable, and it's really funny because I got kicked out of my preschool for kissing boys, which I feel I bring this up because I feel like it's so on brand for tonight's discussion. Because one of the reasons why I made sure we chose like a secular preschool is because, not that there is anything wrong with like a church preschool, but I went to a church preschool and I got sent home because we were playing house and the boy kissed me and then I kissed him back. And I got sent home.
Well, because girls are inherently more sinful than boys, apparently.
Oh, of course. You know. May the confetti rain. But I think
No.
hey, it's Anna.
Yay!
Anna. Yeah. But because of this, swapping the germs. I think she's gotten like I think it's the allergies, and I think she may have gotten sick. So today she came home from school and was like really like her favorite neighbor, we call him Cowboy, next door is her like favorite person, and you've seen Cowboy, you've seen her like be excited about Cowboy.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't even wake up out of the car for Cowboy. Like she was dead. She was exhausted. So yeah, when she finally woke up and was like, where's food? And we were like, well, we made tacos. She was not happy we made tacos. She was not happy that it was white people taco night. And then she wanted a treat before mommy went to go do discussion. It's been an evening. It's been a bit of an evening.
Aww.
But it's okay. It's okay. She's hanging out with dad right now, so it'll be good. It'll be good. And we have not been doing this all day for the first time in I don't know how long, so we're very excited. This is going to be a very fresh discussion for you guys. That's rude. Why not the boy too? Yeah, look. I think the saving grace though is that like my mom and his parent, like our parents were really good friends, and so Richie and I were really good friends. Like we went to Six Flags all the time together and like super close. And so like our parents just thought it was hysterical and didn't take like any stock in it. But yeah, like it come on. Come on. I mean, like kudos to our parents for like not letting that hit, right? Like but also why are you going to shame like that? I don't think so. But kudos to our moms for being like, they're just as guilty. They're literally playing house. They're literally playing house. They think they're mom and dad. Like, where is the sin? They think they're married. Like, if you're going to go at it from that angle, I was like, okay, I love that for us. Go parents. You know, and in the 90s, you know, that was big. So woo. Little Kayleigh, I saw you in a match and was like, oh, but discussion? Yeah, no, my husband is on the PS5 right now. So if you were like, why are you, no, I'm not in a match. My husband's on the PS5.
She's learned to play with her feet. We just can't see off screen.
That's it. I'm actually playing right now. You just don't know. I've gotten that good, B, at Dead by Daylight. No, I have gotten very good in a week, though. I will say, for the obsession that I have gotten pretty good in a week. I'm proud of that. But yeah, so welcome everyone to multitasking. Yes. Welcome everyone to Here Lies a Vengeful Bitch book discussion. We are so excited to have everyone here tonight. I am quickly pulling up our agenda. That sounded awful, and I'm never going to say that again. That sounded so... I don't know what it was supposed to sound, but it wasn't supposed... I wanted it to sound cooler than it did. I'm sorry.
It makes us sound organized and professional.
It does.
We have an agenda.
Agenda.
Do we completely stick to it? That's a different question.
We do when we're not burnt out. So we'll see how it goes today, because today is a totally different situation and we're excited about it. So let's see. Let's see. Each time it gets better. For the people who have been around, like Claudia, seen us go through some like stretches, y'all. Claudia's like, it's true. I remember when they were in a basement in the dark, and this was all held on like an Instagram like live. Bless her. So for those of you who are new here, welcome. I am Kayleigh of Kayleigh Creates. I am the head ghoul here at the DFCC, which stands for Double Feature Creature Crypt. We are a multimedia horror book movie club where once a month we pick a book and a movie that fits the vibe check. And then at the end of the month, we chat about it. This month's pick was Here Lies a Vengeful Bitch, written by the super spooky and cool Codie Crowley. And our movie that we paired with it upon Codie's recommendation was Night of the Demons. So that was a lot of fun for those of us who experienced movie night. We should have done a slide in here of just the screen caps of my face as we watched Night of the Demons. I know you've watched horror movies on screen
I've seen
with me
it before.
So you know the faces I make. Like, I think, what was it? Alien was the one that we watched.
Yeah, I got to see Kayleigh's reaction to the John Hurt scene in Alien for the very first time. She'd never seen it, didn't know what was going to happen, and I got to watch it live.
Imagine that, but those faces with everybody who got to experience me watching Night of the Demons for the first time. With people who, like, I was telling people, I was like, I'm so glad I met these people before I saw them shove lipstick tubes up their boobs. Like, I don't think I'd be able to see them the same way again, you know? Mm-hmm. You see one girl shove a tube of lipstick into her nipple and you just can't see it again. You just can't. But oh, Linnea. Oh my god, priceless. Yes. But that's me. The other side of what I do is Kayleigh Creates. For those of you who came from that side, you know I am I'm a multimedia horror artist who loves books and film. And so this was a fun extension of the brand to be able to not only enjoy what I do, but to enjoy that with others and share that community and uplift some others in that community, and bring along some people that I think have some great ideas and fun along the way. And one of those lovely people who I have enjoyed doing that with for the last, 7 years, has been my wonderful best friend, Lady Tartan. And I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Hello, I'm Laura, aka Lady Tartan, and yeah, I'm here for the vibes.
That's it. I'm over here like, it's like the scroll from the intro to Star Wars, and you're like, and it's me.
Yeah. I really need to do something so I have something to say.
And this is Lady Tartan. She is incredibly qualified to be here, though you may not see a whole bunch of her on social media. She has been my right-hand man for a long time. She too is very well versed in the world of horror. She goes to a ton of the horror conventions here in the state of Texas. She is a horror nerd and nut. She is incredibly well versed in all of the fun drive-in movies. She's incredible. Well, like drive-in movie watch-alongs. We have gone to college together, so all of the fun books we read, pairing it with the horror genre, her and I, we nerd out and get off on all of the fun like literary analysis that we do. And so she brings in a whole lot of humor and a whole lot of fun. She is also our folklore goddess. I will let you all know. She loves folklore. Where there she is the opposite balance of me. When there are genres that I'm like, guys, do we have to read that? Laura is like slam dunk, ya girl, very excited. We balance each other out very nicely. And so she is incredibly more than just, and I'm Lady Tartan. I'm here for the vibes.
And I don't post much on social media, but trust me, I'm always watching Wazowski. I'm always lurking.
She is a lurker.
Voice. I've done better.
She is a lurker. She is a lurker, but she's getting better because somebody recently got accepted to NetGalley, and we're very proud of her. So she started writing some reviews, and
thanks, NetGalley. Incredibly sponsored by NetGalley. Not really. Just kidding.
No, not really. Don't sue us.
Though if you want to.
But shout out. I'm very proud of her. Because it's a big step. I've been pushing her to do that forever. So yeah. Very, very proud of her. And for those of you who remember, you will see that her badge says Muppet Casting. That is her very important, sacred role here. When we have books that we read and we're like, if you could keep one character and replace the rest with Muppets, Laura's the one who casts that.
I once spent on Christmas Day 3 hours trying to figure out my perfect Muppet cast for Dracula.
It's an important role.
Yeah.
It's very important, especially when some of the shit we read is so dark.
It's like, okay, yeah, that was tough. But what if it was Gonzo?
What if Rizzo the Rat was instead? Like, yeah, no, I'm with you. I feel it. I'm here. So yeah, that's I did that without us being on I thought we were on the side. So that's it.
Yeah.
Hey.
Look, that's
what up, guys? Yeah. So without further ado, we are going to start the discussion. I'm super excited. Okay. This was so much fun. So we wanted to start the discussion this time with some vibes and some memes. So you want to know, like when Laura says that she is here for the vibes, it's because she brings them. Guys, all of these memes are from her. I think I gave like 2 of these.
I think you helped me.
I gave like very minimum of these memes. Most of them were you. And they are fan-freaking-tastic. So we're just gonna let you guys take a second. Please, in the chat, I'm gonna read everything in a Kermit voice to ease the tension.
Yes, my job here is done.
This is it, man. That is how you do it, right there, Anna. That's how you do it, and I love that for you. But yes, so we're just going to take a moment and let you guys read these. And then in the chat, I just need everybody to let us know which ones are your favorite, because I know I have a very specific one that made me pee my pants when we discussed this earlier. I was like, oh my God, I can't breathe. And I had a baby. There is no amount. There are no amount of kegels to hold in this laughter right now.
This was fun.
Truth.
I loved. I knew immediately. I was like, I'm gonna find one of the pictures of James Dean in his glasses because Sam
finds you impressive. Trying to be the girl he wants. Become his waking nightmare. Did you mean?
And I had to include the picture of the wonderful CJ Lead in her thrifted shirt the other day, because it just hit right. Lead me not into temptation. I can find it myself.
So good. I wish I had like a pointer. I wish this thing had like a little pointer thing that I could be like on the screen, like a whiteboard. It'd be like circle.
And now we're looking at this meme.
Right. And now if you look at this meme. Okay, let's see. There's also, let's see, another one of these that I just about died for was okay, this was the one that made me laugh so hard that I almost peed my pants. I was like, if the police did their jobs, everyone would trust them. Ain't no song called "Fuck the Fire Department." I love it so much. I've started this thing where I'm like, if I love something so much, I'm like, I want it tattooed on the back of my eyeballs. Like, I want it back on the eyelids. Like, when I close my eyes, I just want to see it. It's my new dumb thing that I just say, and I'm like, yes! I'd put that on the back of my eyelids. I would. Okay, so.
The feminine urge to Jennifer's body him. Haven't we all?
I like hanging out with a vengeful bitch. Let's see. Honestly, the fire department would have helped Annie. They would have. I'm so sorry. A lock on the door? A lock on the... The memes are perfect. Thank you, everybody. Laura is fabulous. She undersells herself.
I can find memes. Memes are great.
I can find memes.
Happy little squares that make us happy.
Yes. Look at my internet happy squares. They're so great.
That's what we're calling memes from now on. Internet happy squares.
These are my internet happy squares. May I pebble you? All right. Let's start off our conversation with talking about Annie, Annabelle, aka that bitch. Absolutely. Let's talk about her. She is our lead. You know her. You love her more than her own family.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, like there is no question there. Zero question there. Was Annie a difficult character for you to love? Was Annie a hard sell for you?
Not really. I love a good quote unquote unlikable female narrator, because usually all it means is they're not nice all the time. They're not simpering and sad. They're just not nice. That doesn't mean they're unlikable or they're bad.
And I think you bring up a really good point, right? Like, she's she's deemed unlikable, but who is she unlikable to, right? Like, that's the thing, because it's very clear in the novel, right, that she goes against the grain.
Mhm.
Um, it's very clear that there is this against the like, there's this tension of, like, the way things should be, and I think this was kind of interesting, and I know we'll touch on this more. Um, I think this was why it was kind of interesting that they had this thread and this little connection that Codie had placed with um, the preacher and the girls who died, um, in the fire, like, with the axe and the
Oh,
fire
yeah.
and stuff. I think it was really interesting that Codie had buried that so deep, with this, because you could see how deep that culture still permeated in this town.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Anna says, "She felt like a pretty relatable teenage girl." Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Especially coming from a small town where even if you're a teenager, there's really nothing else to do but
Well,
drink and get in shenanigans.
anybody from a small town, small minds. There's a lot of reasons why people try to leave. Not a whole lot to do, not a whole lot to talk about. So guess what the headline topic is? You. Sydney says, "I loved her. Also, she's 17, so I just kind of saw her as dumb." Said lovingly, a dumb teen. Yeah, no, that's 100% fair. I definitely was not making the best choices at 17. I was absolutely not making the best choices at 17. Um, I actually think that she was making some better choices than I was at 17, to be quite honest. Um, and I need to see what the next question is real quick. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think she was actually making some better decisions than I was at 17, because I know at 17 for me, I had some, like, preconceived, like, do's and don'ts, right? Like, you're like, well, society says don't do this, right? But there's no discussion on this. And so you go and you, like, find different ways to rebel. You find different ways to be angsty. You find different ways to go against the grain. Um,
And how
I
are you supposed to figure out who you are if you don't try things and experience things?
exactly. Exactly. And I think that's the other thing too. Like, this town was set up to be like a powder keg, right? Of all of these stifling ideas in this small town, in this small, um, like, very enclosed space, it feels like.
Mhm.
And then you have just anytime you have Annabelle and Mora, it's so free. Like, there is none of this judgment, there's none of this escapism. I mean, there's none of this, like, um, like, bullshit. Like, they're
Yeah.
completely in reality. They're like, "Okay, well, this is your reality," but in reality, like, when they go to New York, or when they, there's another side, when they're in the dead shed, right? Like, all the things they talk about in
Mhm.
the dead shed. Um, I think those lines that are drawn are so, especially for a YA novel, I think are so unique
Yeah.
and important
And it,
because
sorry, go ahead. I
no, no,
forgot
no,
my
no,
thought anyway.
you talk.
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna say as well, and I love that with the writing, Codie kind of made everywhere outside of those spaces you mentioned feel claustrophobic. Like her house, the
Yeah.
school, kind of even the diner, like it all felt small and insulated. And it was different to when they were in the dead shed or she was talking about that or even on the mountain. It felt
Yeah,
more
and it
open.
feels really interesting how, like, the places where these 2 girls were being the what we end up being told is, like, the worst people in town, we see them being, like, the most loving, the most supportive. We see them being some of the most, like, free, the most open-minded, right? Like, and I think that juxtaposition, even when it's not intentional, I think it's so important, right? Because it's showing that people can grow in these, like, small liminal spaces, and there are, even in these small towns, there are these places to carve out, right?
Mhm.
There are these places that you can find. There are these people. Um, and I think that's I'm trying to, like, not step into the next question, but
Yeah.
lead into the next question.
I think as well just the concept of like even the word bitch has such connotation that comes with it. Like it's generally an insult that men have used against women who did things they didn't like. And it's been
Right.
kind of reclaimed in the past, however many years, uh, a little bit as a more like term of endearment or owning it even. Like, yeah, I am a bitch. That doesn't mean I'm a bad person. So it is interesting as well, like that's right there in the title. And dated a band boy.
Attacked. Attacked. Thank you.
Yeah. Shots
Thank you,
fired.
Ayana. I am attacked. I appreciate that very much. Uh, yes, rip. Um,
But
but
Anna wasn't a bitch. She was the bitch.
she was. She was. And I think it's important that I think what differentiates her too is she never compromised or changed.
Mhm.
For better or worse, I think she doesn't compromise or change. I think she grows as a person. I think she learns as a person, but I think she's able to do it without sacrificing parts of herself in the process.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I think that's a
She stayed true to
very,
herself.
yeah, like she does it without having to compromise her beliefs. She does it without having to um let the friends, the men, the people, the school, the town take things from her, even after they take quite literally her life. She still is very much alive. She refuses to give them what
Yeah.
makes her her. And I think that is such a like, especially for a YA novel, I think that's an incredibly
Yeah.
powerful message. Um, and speaking as somebody who in more than one way been there, done that, got the t-shirt. Um, I mean, that's a book that I kind of wish had came across my path when I was in those years, because man, if I had known that I could have done some things without having to let people take bites out of me, like without having Like, I could have just told people to choke, and like, I still could have grown. I still could have, like, that's the thing. Like, and this is going to segue into the next question really well, the next discussion topic really well, is we tell women, we tell girls all the time, yes, but. And I think that is a huge issue. Um, I mean, like, even in the beginning of this discussion, when I was talking about how, like, in this, my kid got kissed in preschool and we were like, okay, whatever, not a big deal. But when I got kissed in preschool, the boy kissed me and I got sent home. Like, I kissed him back, I got sent home. Like, that was a major yes, but. Right? Like, and I think things like that, it's really funny. There is a song, and it was floating around on like Instagram and TikTok for a good long while, where it's like, funny how the very first sin was a woman who ate. And it was just such a vibe, but it's so accurate and true. Because yeah, funny. Really funny. Because why do we tell, like, why is it that we why is it that we police our women? And we have to tell our women, our girls, this is how you need to act, this is how you need to be, this is what you need to do, blah, 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 blah. And we damn them and demean them, and we hold them to these insane high standards. But then men can drug women, men can emotionally, mentally, whatever they feel like, abuse women, like the boyfriend, right? Because they do the K and all that jazz. We have a father figure who has a complete abuse of power in every single role that he has. And not once do any of these men get called out for it.
Yeah. Even worse, they don't even consider calling them out for it. Like, there's never really any question of, oh, but could Annie have gone missing? And it is like her boyfriend knows something. Like, they didn't even try.
Right. And I think this was one of the reasons why, when Codie had recommended Night of the Demons, and in that opening scene when it's the old man out front, because Codie had recommended, and we'll talk about it, we'll show you the film we'll likes at the end as well, but Codie had recommended 2 films, and one of them was Night of the Demons and one was the other. But at the beginning of these movies, there is definitely, I say at the beginning of one and then throughout the other, there is a type of character that keeps popping up. And it's this, oh, you kids and your sinful ways kind of character. But that man essentially is like a wife beater and a terrible person and incredibly judgmental. And who are you to throw stones in your glass house? Like, why is somebody's and that's the thing, right? Like, unless you see somebody like screwing on the street in front of you, right? You have no idea what they are doing just by seeing, right? Like, just by looking, you're just judging. You're just casting judgment. And you're probably casting some kind of judgment based off of lies, based off of rumors, based off of like your lust based off of your uncontrolled feelings and desires and your projections.
And they're couple all this with being raised to think that your voice means more, your opinion holds more weight.
Right.
Therefore, obviously you're right.
Right. And I love this juxtaposition too coupled with Sam, I think is another important thing, right? Because I think this is also going to segue into really well with the Spectre Squad.
Mhm.
I think these two are going to go really well together. I love her use of Sam because Sam is this like James Dean bad boy, too cool for school guy who she does the same thing that everybody does to her too.
Yeah.
She judges, she puts on that that hyper I'm going to use the same word twice. That hyper judgmental like preconceived notion, and she has to eat it. Like she has to be made aware that she is no better than the townspeople around her that are judging her. Like, homegirl, you could take the girl, like you could take the girl that you are and dress her up into punk rock clothing, but that doesn't make you any better than the town around you. And she kind of had to have this moment of like, wow, did I just really judge you as harshly as everyone judges me? Because when she has this whole moment where she's like, he's like, did you really think I was a murderer? You right now. And she's
And
like,
Fern was her name, Fern?
Fern. Yeah, I remember
Like
it.
her reaction when Annie asks about Sam, and she's just like, even at the end, kind of got this hesitancy towards her because,
And she's
like, of all people, how did she think that?
right, she's like, are you kidding me? And no, he's definitely not, because I would fucking know. I was one of the girls. Like, I was just like,
It's like,
yeah, girl. I was like, what? I was like, I gotta turn these off. I don't know how, because I am a boomer millennial. I'm a geriatric millennial, and I'm just gonna let it go because I don't know how to work technology. But make the things do the things. Oh, you'll do those, but you won't do. Yes, laser light show.
whoa.
There we go. Um, for the folks at home. But yeah, I think that juxtaposition is so important. And in talking about this like modern, like in talking about feminism and stuff, right? And this gaze, I think it's important that it's also put and like hypocrisy on sin and stuff. I think it's also important that we talk and spotlight that bit about Sam, because it doesn't just go one way. It doesn't just go one way. It's not just on women. Um, it also goes on men too, because not every, I mean, like if we think about punk culture and stuff, right? Like how many of them had these like brash and abrasive and these hard looks and were damned and condemned by their society around them. But basically they were people just out there like picking daisies and like
Yeah,
making
man,
sure
most
like
punk songs are about this thing sucks, it should be better. Let's make a better world.
right. Right. Or like making sure kids got home from school okay, or protecting women as they were like leaving. Like that's the thing, right? Like it's not and I think showing this other light on it, right? Showing this light, but in this almost grunge. I don't want to say grunge, that's not the right word, but in this darker tone, I think. Instead of it just being like, for those of you who've read Midnight is the Darkest Hour, where it's like, I'm just not a good Christian girl. Even though that book has a lot of the same kind of tones, this does it without having to conform to the stereotypical girls are good. Girls need to look and act and be a certain way. Same with boys. And I just really love that. I think Codie really, whether she was intentional with it or not, I think the time that was spent there was really, I think it was time well crafted for the the YA community in these.
And Claudia has a good comment here, tying in with like sin and just generally what you're saying as well about like classifying people in boxes. They use the excuse Eve ate the apple first, so she committed the first sin, so they put all the blame on us. But
let's not forget who threw away his first wife,
right? Like, what about Lilith? She was there first. She just didn't want to do what they said, so she was cast out, and the whole thing was rewritten because they're afraid of choice.
Almost. Are you almost done?
I'm getting there.
Huh?
I'm getting there. You want to say hi? Say hi.
Hi. What's Kitty?
She's not here tonight.
What?
It's okay. Have fun. Oh, you're sticky. I don't like it. Nope, that's Mom's.
Don't eat all of the candy.
I'm not going to eat all of your candy. Go away. Okay. Bye. Boy kisser. All right.
So rest of the Spectre Squad.
Yeah. Were there any others that really stood out to you? I know. So the Spectre Squad as a whole, some of the notes that we have here were some questions that we had were they ghosts? Were they just aimless souls? Were they poltergeists? Were they demons? What do you guys think was some of their unfinished business that tied them to this earthly plane? And do you guys think that they need a purpose to stay? Which I think this kind of ties us back to, as we were kind of like forming this question, what is it with these ghosts? Like, what is it with the Spectre Squad that really ties them to this mountain? And I know this is something that we're going to come back to, I'm sure we're going to come back to. But what is it about the Spectre Squad? Like, what? We never find out what exactly they are.
No. And
they're
Sam implied that either him or someone else had completed their unfinished business before. So, like, do they, even if they have done their unfinished business, did the squad choose to stay? And that's what made them a little different?
Right. Like, well, and that's the thing. So I was curious, and I'm this is something that I didn't think to look up. But I'm like, what is the difference between ghouls and ghosts. Like, what's the difference between ghouls versus ghosts? In spooky contexts, it can refer to any sinister creature. Ghosts and goblins could be both generally referred to as ghouls. It can also refer to a person who enjoys disturbing or revolting things. What is the difference between ghouls and goblins? Ghast and a ghoul. Ooh, what's a ghast? Bro, what is that?
I really badly wanted to make a joke there about
A ghast?
how it sounded like aghast, but my brain couldn't pick one fast enough.
Or, okay, so for the longest time, while I was reading it, I had actually thought that they were wraiths.
That could make sense.
Because a ghoul is a being that can be human, might be a demon, who eats human corpses. Well, I was like, well, there's no human corpse eating in this, so interesting. But a wraith is a ghost who, for some reason, appears to a living person shortly before that person's death. Is usually what wraiths are. But there's like lots of different lore for wraiths. But yeah, I was, while I was reading it, I was thinking about wraiths. Like,
I
with
don't know. I was
especially
just
with
thinking
their,
ghosts.
well, I thought ghosts at first, but then like like there were things about them that weren't hitting the ghost category, right? Like, they're not permeable. They are physical. People can see them. Because,
Yeah, that
like,
was interesting.
well, like, here's the thing too, right? Like, Mora, clearly a ghost.
Hmm.
Obviously a ghost. Because Mora spends so much of the book trying to connect to Annie
Hmm.
and trying to leave like things for her to see and notice and witness and like bring her to the answer. And I'm like, okay.
That's so
That is,
cool.
oh wait, hold on. Let me come back. I'm like, that is ghost behavior.
Yeah. That was
What?
on discussion. That's so cool.
Aww. Codie Crowley just called our book club the coolest book club she's ever heard of. In the comments of the picture,
I'm not gonna cry.
Codie, get in here. Come on, the Crypt loves you. Oh, she's
Hearts
cool.
for Crypt hearts. Why can't I get it to do anything?
Mine just looks like butts. Did you turn yours off?
If I did, I don't know how.
Let's see. They appear how they want to be seen, though. Mora didn't die on the mountain, so she couldn't come back. Oh, that's right. I did forget that. But then the whole mountain thing. I need more. I need more. I need more in the best way possible. Like, this is a thing we have for the last slide, so I know we'll get there.
Yeah.
But I need more. I need more in like the most complimentary fashion. I saw that she shared it on her story earlier. Sweet.
Codie.
Also, she has a YouTube channel too, and she's so cool. I love her vibes. She's so
I do
sweet.
too. I'm like, she's cool.
Oh my god, I definitely need more of this world. I know. I'm like, we're gonna get to that slide.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Trying
get
not
there.
to dive into that.
I know.
But
I'm trying so hard. Okay.
um,
Oh yeah, I was really proud of this pun. Death echoes that shake, rattle, and roll. I was like, I feel like Sam would have listened to this. Sam would have been proud of the slide title.
He would have.
And then he would have called me baby or something. Something that today would have seemed really sexist, but then would have been like cool. And I would have been like, you want to go bowling or something? Like, hop on the back of your motorcycle, or I don't know.
Right? Let's go get a milkshake. At
Yeah, like,
the sock hop.
you know who Sam...
That sounds like a thing.
You know what vibes Sam gives me? Michael from Grease 2. He gives me cool writer vibes, and I support it.
Just at the
I'm
end,
about
though.
it.
He was kind of lame for most of the movie. He's no Kaneki. Kaneki and him even talk the same a lot.
We
Like,
have
they-
very different tastes.
You could have heard Sam saying, like, a hickey from Kaneki's like a Hallmark card. When you care enough to send the very best.
It's fine. I like Frenchie's cousin, okay? But it's also because in the first movie, you know who was my type? Frenchie. So, and Rizzo, but Frenchie. So there is no...
I always like Kaneki.
I know. I know. It's okay.
I can't defend the choice at all. But I like
It's okay. Was it you I was having the conversation with that I was like, I just want a man who looks like he can do my taxes? I don't
Yes.
care if he knows how to do my
I
taxes.
was there for that.
It's the illusion. I want that.
This is another thing, though, that was so interesting about these ghosts is, you know, they could choose to be seen by the living. And they had these death echoes. I mean, like, yeah, with her throwing up lake water all the time and just, it made me
It's
think
giving-
of when Howl, like, dissolves into a pool of his
Oh,
tears.
yes. I was like, it's giving Samara from The Ring. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
giving. It's giving it.
And then Sam's was pretty badass. I was
Oh
like,
my god.
flame on.
Yeah. I'm like, Ghost Rider, chill out.
Yeah, he's like, what happens if you squish Ghost Rider and Johnny Storm together? Squish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spam.
Yeah. I support that. I support
I
it.
want to know so bad though if the others had them.
Oh,
Like,
the death
is
echoes?
that? Yeah, like I wonder if what was his name?
I think they definitely did. We just didn't get enough time with them.
Yeah, the Slytherin guy. The guy who was absolutely a Slytherin.
Oh, dear.
Silas? No. D. The guy that made the ghost wine and
I know
stuff.
who you're talking about.
Because
He
like
had, like,
Sam
very
called him a
country
witch.
name.
And
He had a very
he was like alchemy, making all these things. Like I wonder if that's got to do with his like death echo.
Why do I feel like his name was like... My dumbass is like, it's like Dale or something. It's not. It's like Deer. It was like... My brain's like, Deer Stalker. It's not his name. I'm gonna find it. Because now it's stuck in my head. Yeah, it is Deer. Vernon Deer.
Wasn't Deer the big guy that
Howl. No. Because there's Haunt and Howl,
yeah, they were the little twins.
who I will die for. I love them.
They made me think of Thing 1 and Thing 2 from the Cat in the Hat.
Yeah, Deer is the handyman.
Yeah, okay. And what's his name?
Gun's the douche. Trey's his bestie. Mora's the best. Mora's her bestie. Virgil?
Yes, that's it.
I'm like looking through the names. I'm like,
Which made me laugh because I was like, the parts that he pops up in when it's like just him and her, there's not many, but I was like, she's dead. Underworld, Virgil, teehee.
oh,
I was like, it's like Dante.
wow. I'm mad I didn't catch it. I'm so mad.
I mean, there
didn't
wasn't really anything that tied it to the Inferno other than that they're dead and his name is Virgil. But
No, but you
was like,
you know I'm
giggle,
a slut
giggle,
for
giggle.
names. You know I'm a slut for names. Ugh. This time she'll be the knife. Ugh. So good. So good.
But yeah, I wanted, I mean, we're going to talk about it, but yeah, I really did like the Spectre Squad and these, yeah, and these death
I want
echoes.
more. I want more.
Yeah.
Would anybody else read an entire like novella or like book of like the preacher and the girls and
I'd
whatever
read an
happened in
entire
that
series
freaking
based around
town?
this world.
I would. Disney,
I'm
if
like,
you're listening, give us more.
I'll even back a Kickstarter. Like, I want more.
Give us more. Give us more. I'll take it. Damn, I didn't catch it either. Yes, for sure. I wanted to keep hanging out with them. Me too. Me too. Okay. So this kind of has to, I think this was a little bit more into talking about relationships. Ties that bind. So relationships and what keeps us here. What is it that tethers us to this plane? Like, what is it that really, what truly connects us and holds us here? The Spectre Squad, their bond, Mora and Annie, Grady, and all of the things that stem from him. Annie's brothers and her mom. Clearly, Annie has only after dying realized she actually has quite a lot to strangely live for all of a sudden. She finally has, I mean, not just vengeance, like she not just has, when she was alive, she was very aimless. She didn't really have a purpose. She didn't really know what she was doing, where she was going. She didn't really have a plan. And only when her time was up was she given weirdly. I don't, I hate that I'm phrasing it this way, but I don't really have a better way to phrase it. Only when her time was up was she given the gift of direction.
Mm-hmm.
She was able to be gifted a found family with people who accepted her and understood her and didn't judge her.
Immediately as well. Like, she was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, she belonged.
Yes. And it wasn't, I think this is the other thing too, because I thought about this, and I was like, well, what would have happened if her and Mora had left and gone to college? Would she have had the same kind of experience? Like, would she have been able, would Annie have been able to find that same kind of comfort in New York or in another area, like in Pennsylvania or somewhere in the middle, right? And
Because their whole plan at that point seemed to be just to follow Mora.
it was, and I think
Nothing else.
I think what frustrated me with this was if she were to take that path, it was always going to be a pay to play system. which sounds, I mean, that sounds kind of insane, right? Because like that is how the world works. But if she were to go to college, she would only have those people and that security as long as she could afford to be there. This was not a person who was coming with stability behind her. And I think in some ways, her having the Spectre Squad, like for some bizarre reason, like her ending up being undead gave her so much freedom. I mean, granted, yeah, she's trapped in her hometown, but she's trapped in a place that is just as judged and isolated and unwanted in her hometown as she was. Which I think also, in a sense, is very freeing. And they're people who she didn't have to like maintain, if that makes sense. Like they were thrust upon her instead of her having to work for them, which I think is a very interesting dynamic as well. There was no like need to please.
And hey, one night a year, she can go wherever she wants.
Right? As long as you're back by morning, question
mark. As long as you're back by morning.
Which is kind of unspecific.
Right? I was like, it's like Hocus Pocus. The sun's rising over the horizon.
That's it, right? Does the sun touch you? That's it. And we're like, how does that work? Does the sun have to touch you? Is it a sundial? Like, what is it? Like, just the sun has to be
stayed in the
crusted?
shadows, would you be okay?
Like, are you like a vampire at that point? Like, do you just wear like a cloak and some sunblock on your way back up the hill? Like, what are we working with here? I love that. Let's see.
I loved her and Mora's relationship though. Like, because they fought, it wasn't like this picture perfect friendship. It was real. They had differences of opinion. They weren't the same person. They appreciated each other, but they frustrated each other. And that bond lasted beyond the grave. Like,
there were so many points beautiful. Where they were talking where I was like, had that conversation, been there with Laura. I was like, we're like, what was it? There was a conversation where she was like, are you talking to that fucking guy again? No, I'm not doing that for you. Are you kidding? No. Oh, but yeah, we can go next Tuesday. Like, oh yeah, you want to go get coffee? Yeah, we can go. Totally. Like, that's fine. Absolutely. No, are you kidding me? Like, and it was just that, like, the ride or die, but like, I'm also going to pull your head out of your ass. But like, then they would turn it on each other and do the same for each other. And I was like, that's it. That's it. Like, that's the bond. When you're like more than friends, like it's the sisters without sisters, right? Like, you grew up together, you're incredibly close, but you're like you're still friends. You're not like you're not sisters. And I love it so much. I love it so much. Because
it made me really happy to know that Mora can come back and visit every house. Like, she can see her.
I was like, so worried that Mora was gonna, like, I was elated but worried. I was like, is Mora gonna pass over into the light? Like,
right? I'm like, is she gonna Patrick Swayze? I don't like this.
I was like, do we need to get a pottery wheel on set right now? Like,
someone call Whoopi. You in danger, girl. For those of you too young to understand these references, this is from a movie called Ghost.
Please tell me
Patrick Swayze is a really cool actor who died.
Oh my god. And then if you don't want to watch the movie Ghost, you can just watch the episode of Community where Tony Hale gets really upset teaching pottery and says if anybody pulls a ghost, I'm kicking you out. And then you pretty much just understand the context. It's fine.
Yeah, pretty much.
There you go. Ta-da! It's the same. It's the same thing. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. And it's about like 15 minutes instead of like 2 hours. Fun fact, Patrick Swayze went to San Jacinto College Central.
You did? I didn't know that.
He did. He did. I learned that when I was doing community theater there. Did learn that. Yeah. We had a whole big thing because I think he it was like the year he died or something.
No.
Yeah. I learned that.
Swayze. I hope you're on that big wave in the sky. That's a Point Break reference again for the youngsters. Just look up Patrick Swayze on IMDb.
Yeah, just look it up. Just look it up.
This is my service to the world for the day. Anyone who doesn't know who Patrick Swayze is, just look him up and
appreciate it.
Yeah,
we ain't saying ACAB, but fuck Grady.
Buzz la police.
Grady.
That was. It was like season 1 Veronica Mars vibes, but worse.
It was like season 1 Veronica Mars vibes if it met like season 3 Dexter. Yeah. I was not thrilled about it. I had
we talk about her family, like her blood family.
Oh, right, because I said it in my head and I didn't say it out loud.
Yeah, I forgot.
I actually loved the brothers. One of the brothers, I legitimate just in my head, I just saw him as the brother from Bring It On. The one who puts the Spanx on his head and walks out, and then he's like sassy, and then he walks back and leaves. I was like, that's all I saw him as. And then the older brother, the one who she's like, it's kind of like my twin. I actually ended up really, really liking his character arc and his like whole apology and his like, I just didn't realize, and I'm so sorry. And because it really goes to show, like, when you have that kind of home and you have a mom that is that. Not even a mom, but just a parent. And I think this shows in both Maura and Annie's households. When you have a parent that is just that so controlling and erratic, it is incredibly hard to stay on your toes. And you never know what is coming down the pipeline. And it's kind of like sink or swim. So if you're out of the house, if you're on neutral ground, you're able to be friendly, you're able to like be very close. If you're away from the parent, it is a very clear-cut relationship. But the second the parent becomes involved, it is like a sink or swim, do or die. You are on your own. Because the parent has cultivated a home life that is everyone for themselves, because that is how the parent is, because the parent only thinks about themselves.
Yeah. I mean, and also just think about it, what it would mean to be, I mean, she was the oldest at 17, the others are younger, like knowing that your only parent is an addict and doesn't really care that much about you. Like growing up with that knowledge has to be awful.
Well, it also goes to show too, right? Like a man can escape the It's like the sins of the father, right? But I almost called her Mora. But Annie, in her mom's eyes, all Annie can ever be is just competition.
Yes.
Because you took her body, you took her, like, as she gets older and all of these things, Annie is having to grow up. Annie is having to do these things. So, like, there is a whole litany of things that you could look at it from, right? Like a competition standpoint, a lack of motherhood, a missed opportunity. You can look at it from just responsibility, right? As like eldest child, not taking ownership. Like you put that on the eldest child, but then it's also like, but the eldest child's a girl, and what is she supposed to do? What are you expecting from her? Like, what do you think she's going to be bringing into the family? What are you wanting her to do? But then you're mad at her for doing what teenage girl things? And you're mad at her because what, you're bringing men around the house and they see you have a teenage daughter because you don't hate the boys the way you hate her. Right? Like, and that, like, that's the big thing, right? Like, at what point, and it gets really messy, right? And I like that she left it kind of just like open to interpretation as to like what you feel like you could put on what the issues are. I heard somewhere that the eldest daughter is usually the target for the mother's anger. It can be. And let me tell you, that is, in the context of this story, that is a very sexist comment. And a very Freudian psychological comment, because it goes with the comment that I made of the eldest daughter is the mother's competition, where it's mother, maid, and crone, and women are only as good as our sexual value, and we're only as good as much as we can be commodified, which I don't agree with, and I think that yeah, it's definitely sexist. Yep, it is. It is, because now we live in a generation where like a bunch of us go to therapy and a bunch of us have studied like different things, and we now know that it's probably more like the eldest child. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. It's probably the fact that your parents were a child and just underdeveloped when you were brought into the world, and we're just making human mistakes. And now, sorry, right? Like like, you can't expect babies to have babies and be rational. Not everybody matures at the same age. So, there's that. But I like that we as a society are noticing these things and are changing, unless you're the only daughter and then you're also the therapist.
Like me?
Me?
I'm the only child, so
Huh?
I get all the things.
I love you. I love you. It's okay.
I will say, I did think it seemed like once Annie really did like accept she was dead, and I didn't know what to make of it. I didn't know if it was, she doesn't really seem to worry about her brothers. Like, oh no, what are they gonna do now I'm dead? And I don't know if that was sort of a reflection of how much she thinks
I think it's
she
because
is valued.
I think it's because like there were places throughout the book, like in the beginning, where she talked about the brother, because the brother wasn't that much younger than her. I think he was like, I think they were like, what did she say?
I
They
think
were
they were
like
only like a
Irish
year
twins.
apart or something.
Yeah, they were like Irish twins or something. But he was always like fairly responsible. Like
Yeah.
he was her and he was everything she wasn't, but not in a way she hated, was how she would describe him.
Yeah.
And I think when she realized I think she realized, especially after she got the apology from him,
Mhm.
when he was like, I'm so sorry. When I saw you guys together, I didn't realize. Like, I just thought you were up to your same stuff again. I had no idea that's what this was. I think from that moment, she was like, you know who he is. Like, I think
Yeah.
she had this moment of
They're
like,
gonna be okay because
right,
he's
because
there.
right, right, right. Like, that is not that's like that's for not every man's like Grady and um Greg, what's his fucking name? Grady and, was it Greg?
The diner guy?
No. I mean him too. Not every guy's a skis. There are good ones like Sam and the brother. Some guys just make mistakes, and that's what it was. It was just it was just an honest mistake based off of her character.
Yeah.
Um,
And then there are some mistakes that aren't honest mistakes and get you driven into the river.
yeah. Yeah.
Play stupid
Yeah.
games, win
Win
stupid
stupid
prizes.
prizes.
Like, there's not even that much to say about it other than, yeah, good for you.
Reading that, I was like, should she even still pursue? Yeah, let her have. I was at that point, I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? He drugged her drink. If he would do that to her, he should do it again. Like, what's gonna stop? Like, also, I feel like after reading things like Come Closer and The Night Guest and like books of those sorts, I have a very low tolerance for and nestlings. Like, I just have a very low tolerance for just men. And the revenge porn. Like, also shout out to Mora for being like, oh, that I have that set up to not Mora,
Oh
not
yeah,
Mora,
the girl.
the girlfriend, the girl on the side.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name, but her.
Becky?
I can't remember her name.
I don't remember either.
This is my fatal flaw.
But yeah, I loved that scene where they're like fighting and then just kind of like, no, I did this. It was messed up. And they're both like, okay,
Right.
let's go.
Me too. Yeah. Oh, this? Oh, yeah, that? No, I just have that set up to go like every couple of days as a failsafe. And I was like, oh, yeah,
That was pretty dope.
right. Because both of them, because the girlfriend did it, but then Mora does it too. Because Mora was like, I
Yeah.
just figured if I went missing. And I was like, Mora! Yes. Like,
Smart girl.
I was like, that is the appropriate use of the set to post function. Right there. In case I go missing. Excellent.
Here's a clue
Excellent.
from my best friend.
For real. Write that down. Write that down. Write that down. So okay. Okay, hold on. Now y'all be honest. Look at me. Y'all be honest. Okay? Be honest with me. Who did you think did it? Before the reveal was Grady. Who did you think it was? Don't lie. Don't be like, oh, I thought it was Grady the whole time. Don't lie.
No. I considered a bunch of people, and he was one I considered and went back to, but I still wasn't sure because I didn't want it to be him so badly. I didn't want it to be him.
I know.
But of course it was. But
I had
even
one,
at
and
one point considered, this was very early on. I was like, oh man, what if the whole time got together and just fucking killed her? That would
I had spent about like, I had spent up until the dead shed when she got the information she needed. I had spent up until there fully convinced it was Maura.
I thought about her too.
I had spent like up until there fully convinced it was her. I was like, there is only one reason this girl is not in this book. There are two reasons, apparently.
Turns out there was another reason.
I even like messaged Codie and I was like, I'm so suspicious of Maura. It hurts. It still hurts. It still hurts, but I'm no longer suspicious. It hurts worse though. Considered Grady, but didn't want it to be him. Knew it wasn't Gunn or Tyler though. At first, I thought it was one of the ex's friends. I considered Grady, but yeah, I didn't want it to be him. Low-key was expecting it to be a group thing if it were the teenagers, and it was going to be the side girl's idea, or Maura being pissed off and it went too far. See, yeah, I thought about that. I thought about that. I really thought it was going to be some like The Craft, like I Know What You Did last summer kind of like jawbreaker situation.
But then I realized these boys were not smart enough to pull that off.
Men.
They were all pretty dumb.
Like there's like, oh yeah, I know, dude, right? Like there's like, yeah, I like guys. There's like, yeah, they're all right. And then there's men. Like fucking men. Like, you know, like there's a difference. Like men. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's men. Like
it's like how a person is smart. People are dumb.
A white man? No. Like
what happened? Nothing.
Typical. Typical. Exactly.
I did too, Claudia. Like I wanted so badly for Grady to be genuine. And then it's even worse that what he did, but like going so far as to tell her, like, I never thought of you as a doctor. I never wanted to get you any of this stuff. I never wanted to do any of it. But Maura wouldn't do anything without you, so I had to. I was like, oh, come on.
I feel like that was such a fucking lie. I feel like it was such a fucking lie. I think it felt like such a fucking lie.
I felt like it was true to a point. Like, and maybe when she hit puberty, it stopped being.
Or it started becoming uncontrollable.
Yeah.
Like how I said in the beginning, how men want to blame women for being whores because they want to fuck us.
Yeah. It's the whole what were you wearing argument.
And I'm like, I could have been wearing my titties out in the open. I was not asking for it. You are the one with the salacious thoughts and uncontrollable urges. I can have my dog. I can literally have my dog sit in, like Abby before she passed away. She could have her most desired treat in the world in front of her. And I could say, wait. And she would wait all fucking day until I said, take it. But a man can't, like another person can't have that
That's why we all
same
chose Bear.
self-control. That's why
That's why we all
Grady.
chose-
That's how I feel about that.
Ugh, it was so. And the
That's the night that the lights went out before that.
brutality, yeah, him being a cop was like a little, this is either good or this is very bad. But yeah, what Claudia said about Mora, how he didn't even care. Like the fact that even she said, I thought like he'd talk, I thought, this would be something. He just
Yeah, no, it was always about
took
him.
out the gun and immediately shot his daughter in the head. Like, what?
Yeah. Mm-mm. Yeah. It makes me so angry. Like, I'm still so angry about it. I was thinking of it as once it was a more permanent thing. He was like, I'll kill her, but need to wait for the right time. And then I'm free of buying double and being responsible for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he could control Mara, he thought. That's why, like, she wanted to go to Columbia, but had to go wherever else it was she chose. Was it Princeton?
Yeah, she wanted to go to Princeton. No, she wanted to, I think she wanted to go to Columbia. He wanted her to go to Princeton.
He made her, yeah. And it was like, stupid Grady.
They get mad because they can't control themselves, but they blame women and girls. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sorry, this is a hill I'll die on. I'm so sorry. Not that women and girls are the only ones that this happens to. Exactly. Exactly.
No.
Like, well, and that's why I changed it from men to people. Like, because this insidiousness lives inside of everybody. It's not just exclusive to one gender or one person. Like, it's just not.
It is
doesn't.
mostly men.
To be fair, though, serial killers were mostly men because they didn't think women could kill.
Yeah.
We all know women can kill just the same as men.
We can kill better because we don't get caught. I've also just like binged the last 4 seasons of SVU. So I'm in a very men are monsters place.
I just saw the absolute best Eras Tour bracelet that somebody made. It was basically an homage to Olivia Benson. Right? Okay, because one of Taylor Swift's cats, but also SVU. And somebody did, it was just the letters, okay, just the like beginning letter. The first letter of the words of the SVU intro. And then they finished it with that double D for the dun dun,
dun, dun.
And the best Eras Tour bracelet I've ever seen. I was like, this is
fantastic.
That is next level. That is top tier. I'm so proud of that.
Detectives who investigate these vicious felonies are members of an elite squad known as the Special Victims Unit. These are their stories.
Dun, dun.
Dun, dun.
I was like,
that is amazing. I'm like, I want that bracelet.
I wanted to send it to you, but the page refreshed. I was like, no.
I hate when that happens so much.
I was like, that's the perfect bracelet for love. I was so upset. It was like one of those, like, peel the layers. It's the layers. It was so good. It was so good. Somebody was like, can somebody decode this for me? I know, like, all of Taylor Swift songs, but I have no idea what this bracelet is. And somebody was like, not the dun dun.
It's like the...
That's why I had to stop watching Criminal Minds. I cannot do... My sister and I, we used to have this game show where we would play rate we would do like a craft show based off of the killers and their unhinged crafting abilities, and then we would like pull pictures and then we would rate them. It gets to be a lot.
Fair amount.
There's so many.
See, I realize why I like these procedural things is because they're pure fantasy. I can't stand cold cases because they depress me so badly.
I
But
don't
in
like
these
that,
worlds, it's contained and the crimes are solved and justice is served, which, to be honest, isn't reality most of the time.
It also tickles my
So
brain watching them and
let's-
being like, oh my God, that's such and such. Oh my God, that's also such and such. Or like, wow, every actor you've ever known has been on an episode of SVU
right.
at some point.
It's like Doctor Who. Every British actor has been on Doctor Who at some
Because they only have like 12. They only have like 12 actors. Okay, they have to have more than 12 because there's been 12 doctors at least. So, well, that's a lie.
Well, they've
because one
also
of them has
pulled
been...
from Scotland, and I think one was
Oh, I
lost.
know, because Peter Capaldi played a character and a doctor. So, they have at least 12.
David Tennant's played the Doctor twice. So they doubled up there. Pulled 2 from Scotland and worked them for all they were worth.
That's what they did, man. They were like, let's go. I love it. Let's see. Hold on.
Yeah. In general, I felt like the reveal was a surprise.
I did too. I think the lead was buried very well.
Yeah. Vengeance.
Do you guys feel like vengeance was served? Do you think that do you think vengeance was served? Do you think enough vengeance was served? Do you think too much? What are your thoughts? What are your opinions?
I would have loved for him to die and be resurrected and then die in another way several times.
I just want to bring him back and then kill him again.
Yeah.
I love Maura.
Let everyone have a go. By the end, Maura would have worked up her courage and she could go too.
We're just everybody gets the turn, guys. Love it.
But I like the imagery, and like you got to think about how like seeing his dead daughter may have been emotional. He may have been like, oh my God, what did I do?
Ayana has been dead.
But
Ayana's like, no.
really
I feel like it could have been so much more. Really fuck him up and make him pay for Annie and Maura. I love her.
Like, man, think of the imagery of it though. Like suddenly the room's like wet, and this girl that you killed and then kind of came back appears out of the bathtub. Like, that's fucking scary.
You know what I hope? Has anybody here read Sign Here?
Other than me, right?
Yeah, other than Laura and I. Has anybody else read Sign Here? I hope he ends up as a contract worker in Sign Here.
Having to drink Jägermeister for the rest of his life.
Yeah, and having to take acid bath showers.
Yes.
Excellent. This Boone would make a great movie. No, I've never read it. Yeah. Oh. Highly recommend Sign Here. It is so much. Okay. This is one of
and
the
author's name is Claudia.
That's right. Claudia Lux. This is one of the rare times where I will go out of my way to be like, I very strongly recommend the audiobook. The narrator who does the main male for Peyote is everything to me. I want him to win an Oscar for audiobook narration. Like, I will invent an entire new category.
Well, you can't come up here and then cry.
It is so good. And it's so funny. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. You can read the other part, but anything that's Peyote, audiobook. So good. The family part you can read because I didn't care for her as much. But Peyote, slappy tappy, so good. Well, yes, have it on my TBR. Excellent. I hear kitty cries.
Yeah, he was upset because I moved after
How
he had
could-
inserted himself into the weirdest place possible to try and sit on my lap under the desk.
So rude.
He's a little crybaby,
Aw.
but he's cute, so he gets away with it.
What are some things you wanted more of? This was where I was like, we have to wait. We have to wait.
Like that seagull meme.
I
I wanted
hire
more
them.
of like everything.
No, in like the best way. In the best
Yeah.
way. This was not a there were plot holes and I'm very upset. No, this was I feel like things were just tastefully touched on enough to leave me wanting more and doors open. Like I feel like Maura and Annie's stories were closed and that was the main of the book, right? Like I feel like that was the focus. I feel like I got all the answers I had, like I wanted and I needed. There was enough that attached to the Spectre Squad, right? But everything that dealt with the Vengeful Bitch, everything that dealt with the title, I felt like I got answers to.
See, I feel a
Everything
little
else,
differently.
I was like, I need more of this world. I was like, I want so much more.
If Codie wanted to write a book for each of the Spectre Squad, I'm down.
Yeah.
I do. For me, there were a few things touched on that I think were left incomplete in the book, which is why I rated it 4 instead of 5 stars.
Yeah.
And I still loved it. Like 4 stars is still an incredible review. But I think there was a point where when she first got to the house and Sam was like, you'll hear our sub stories later. That to me implied that at some point in this book, we were going to get their stories. And we didn't really get any of them.
Not me
We got
being
a
like,
hint.
let me go to Publishers Weekly and find out if we're
Search Codie Crowley.
right. Search Codie Crowley. Is this an installment? Let's see. Like, okay. Other ghost backstories and answer as to what is up with the fire ghost. Yeah, I think she's tied to the my brain, the preacher.
That would make the most sense.
I believe she's tied to the preacher and Sam. And Fern. I think she's tied to the preacher, Sam, and Fern. I think she's
why
one
is
of
the ghost band trapped in the mausoleum except on Halloween? Why are they in there?
I want to know. Is it like offsite? Is it offsite?
Right? Is it a storage unit?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Is it just off the hill? Like, I want to know why the hill is cursed. How did that happen? Was it the preacher? Was there some kind of like containment situation? I want to know about Virginia. I want to know about her mom. Like not Annie. I want to know about fucking Maura's mom, Virginia. I want to know about her. Because for some reason, I feel like she's tied to it. Like, I need more books or another chapter to wrap everything up. I need more books. I just need more books. Like, I would happily read more.
Like, honestly, if there were more books, I would probably go back and change my to 5-star.
I think I'd leave mine at a 4. But it's because I'm very, what takes me to a 5 is there has to be like a lot of mental fat for me to chew on. Like that. This is going to sound so snobby. But it's got to stim my brain in the higher learning category. Like I need to do like
That makes sense.
lore and research, and it's got to live rent free in the back of my mind, and I need to be able to unpack it for like a long time to come. Um, this is great. It is very great. I think it is a wonderful book, and like, yeah, you and I both agree. 4, fabulous. I mean, that is smash.
So much fun to read as well.
So much
It was
fun. I
fun.
loved it so much. The audiobook was really good too. But yeah, I think for me to take it to a 5, like I would want like a little bit more. I think I would want maybe like a little bit more lore.
Yeah.
Just like a little, I don't know. Like just I'm
Also,
so
if there's this place, there must be other places in the world that are like the mountain.
right.
Can the
Or
ghosts
like
get the internet and start hooking, like talking to other ghosts in other parts of the country?
or the phone. Like what was up with the phone?
Yeah, the magic phone.
Did we ever get answers about the phone? I don't think we ever got answers about the phone. I have
No.
so many questions about the
I
phone.
was sat with the like short number they had to dial, looking at my like phone keypad, like, does this spell anything? I couldn't figure anything out.
Oh my God,
But
were you T9ing?
yeah,
Yeah.
trying to figure out if it said something.
Yes.
Need to message Codie, like, does the number mean anything?
I think
Please
he was
tell
just
me.
like, no, I feel like Sam was just like, I'm just gonna pretend to put numbers in a phone. Like,
Like
well,
he
because I'm
doesn't
thinking
know.
about it, because think about it. Ghosts, like, okay, entities go off of electrical patterns and electrical fields, right? And so
Yeah.
like because that's how like on ghost shows and stuff they can like talk to them and see things and do things, right? So all Sam would really need to do is just pick up a phone, and then he could send current or noises through the line, and then it would pick up, right? So Fern could just pick it up if he knows where to channel
Yeah.
the current, right? But that's going to look really fucking weird to people if he just picks up a phone and starts talking. So if he picks up a phone and puts in some random fucking numbers, he doesn't need to know how many to put in. He just has to like pick up a phone and put a couple in and then start talking. And that's why I think it's funny that she's like, this is the number? That's so fucking weird. Like,
I think as
that's
well
so
it
weird.
helped because she was struggling with a lot of the ghost being dead things. So he was probably like, here's a number you can call. This might be easier for you to wrap your head around than you can just pick up the phone and call.
Right. Well, and I also think it explains why when she tries to call out, the fire girl is the one who responds
Yeah.
because she's the one who puts the energy in the current. But like that's the other thing too. I think part of it is like you have to, I don't want to say you have to have some kind of like ghosty knowledge, but I feel like this is a really good book to be like to kind of like build your specter knowledge. Like your
Yeah.
beginner specter knowledge, because you're
And
like, wait a second.
it's
What's
kind of a
going on
unique take
here?
on ghosts as well. It's sort of pieces from different ones. Kind of
Yeah.
like how Liz wrote a vampire story that isn't
Yeah.
it's a different take on vampires in
Yeah.
Night's Edge and First Light. This is sort of a different take on ghosts. They can do things that normally we don't associate with ghosts, but other supernatural entities. So they're all kind of,
I
it's
definitely
just
did not
something
see
kind of
the
cool and
connection.
new. Eh,
That's
Sam,
absolutely
he's our man.
that's so
Yes,
great.
the knife. We never got an answer to the
What's
knife.
wrong? What happened? What's up?
My daddy just hurt my elbow right here.
Oh, I'm sorry, baby.
Boo boo.
Sweet girl. Hello. Poopy pants. The stories of all the ghosts, less time in West Virginia, spooky band practice. Yes.
The knife, yeah. Like, how,
Mhm. There were so many little things I want answers to, and the knife, how it hurt her, so she took it out, and then we never found out why. Sam, he's her man.
yeah, like,
Love-
why did the
I love-
knife still hurt her when she was dead? And then
I'm
she took,
telling
like,
ya.
yeah, she took it, and then it just kind of.
I think they're more wraiths than ghosts. I really feel like they're more wraiths than ghosts, because that would explain why they they can go, as they say in the book, full ghoul. I think that is an interesting. I don't know. I really like the lore. I would love to ask her. I would love to be like, what was your, tell us, talk to what,
Right.
speak.
I'm like, ultimately, my criticisms of the book are I want more of this story. I want more.
Yeah, in the most like flattering way.
Please. Yeah. Like, please, I want more.
Because I mean, we've read some books where I'm like, I need more, not I want more. And I think that's the difference. I want more from this. I want more, not I need more. I think that's a huge difference. Like,
I needed a smidge more, but I want a lot more.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about the hellhound things.
Oh, the Hellhounds were
Weird.
so good. And also, was it in the boot the Hellhound took, or hold on, murder weapon attachment or something? But like, what a cliffhanger! Yeah. Also, was it in the boot the Hellhound
Don't
took?
actually remember.
I think he just took the shoe. Like, I think he just took her shoe. I don't think he got her. I was like sweating it. I was really anxious because they're like, "Don't let them touch you," and I was like, "Oh, oh she put the knife in her boot, but never specified if she got back to the house with it."
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I would assume not. But also, I don't know. But by that point of the book, I was breathing so heavy. I was like, just make it back. I was like, is the sunrise that you're about to you're done?
I was also very nervous. They were going to get like to a threshold and Sam was going to spin the bike to throw her over it and then he would vanish. I was like, don't.
I was like, if I lose Sam, I will riot. I will not finish this book. Like, I have those moments where I'm like, don't do it. Don't you dare. Me too. Yes. Man, that hurt. Okay, let's see. Oh, yay! Okay, we're at this part. Yay. Well, I upset the ghost in my office.
Oh no. Oh, you set him off.
I set him off. I set off the ghost. The ghost was like, can you calm down? I'm like, I'm so sorry, ghost. Sam, I was like, if something happens to Sam, I will scream. All of us are stands for Sam.
Yep.
We need that on a shirt. Stands for Sam. So welcome to the portion of our show where we are wrapping things up. Film-alikes, everybody. We have a ghost on Netflix and Trick or Treat. The two films that were recommended by Codie was Night of the Demons, which we watched, and the other one was Trick or Treat. Both have similar themes. Trick or Treat's cool because it's kind of like a smashed together anthology of like little stories in an overarching film, dealing with some overarching themes about why and what you should do on Halloween. With a cute little guy named Sam.
Sam.
Sam, he's our man. So lots
And then I
of
feel like an
fun ties.
obvious film alike is probably Jennifer's Body.
Oh yes,
but-
and Jennifer's Body. But we have watched
Except
that before, so
obviously. Yeah.
we will use
I'd
any excuse
forgotten.
to connect Jennifer's Body to any film
Yeah.
because
It's
yes.
like, what is Jennifer's Body?
And yeah, we're always like, and Jennifer's Body. Diablo Cody walked, so but the other one that I really thought was a really good tie to this, little different, but a lot of the same beats, is We Have a Ghost on Netflix. For all of you David Harbour stans, David Harbour is in this. So is Anthony Mackie. So that's fun. But it is a very good story about this family who moves into this haunted house, and they find out that there is a ghost in the attic, and their youngest child befriends the ghost. And they're trying to get the ghost to move on. But of course, shenanigans and stuff ensue, and you find out that things don't go the way you think it will. Was ready to DNF if Sam didn't make it. Excellent. I highly recommend if you enjoyed the plot twists that Here Lies a Vengeful Bitch had, and if you enjoyed the character of Mara and Annie, to check out We Have a Ghost. Very, very fun movie. And then talk to me about it because this movie I really enjoyed. Show alikes. We have School Spirits. There's a lot of obvious reasons with this. I have not watched this yet. This was Mackenzie's recommendation, but it gives a lot of the same vibes. A much more drawn out teen whodunit, but giving that vengeful bitch vibe. And then Boo Bitch, a little bit funnier, a little bit more tongue-in-cheek, but same. It's 8 episodes on Netflix, and I think they're 30 minutes apiece. But girl gets killed at a Halloween party and then has to figure out who did it. And she is not a very likable person. So, also highly recommend. We both rated it a 4. Easiest math in the world.
Yep.
Crypt,
like
4
easy
out of
math?
5. We love easy math as English majors. We survive on that. And then next month, we are happy to announce. This is what took so long, guys. I don't think you guys understand. Y'all, we had the most turnout for this vote than we have had in so many months. Not only that, but we also had our first tie. Up until I looked at everything and realized Laura had never voted.
I forgot. I
was
couldn't choose and then I forgot.
So I had to make Laura vote, and I had to make Laura vote like unbiasedly. I was like, "Hey, girl, you didn't vote." And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "I need you to go vote real quick." So she voted, and then I was able to calculate everything. So I do go off of the votes that are posted on Instagram and the votes that are posted in Discord. I do try that if I notice, like if I know your screen names, and if I know you and I see that you've posted in both places, I will delete your votes in Discord. Like that's towards the end. That is towards the end. So I know it's for me. It's for me. So if you're like, did I not? It's for me. That's a me thing. Oh my God. Oh, it's my ribbit down there. Okay, cool. We're good. In a 10-9 vote, Man-Made Monsters won November's pick. In a 10-9 vote. That's insane, guys. We also had a total of 6 votes for Indian Burial Ground. So, I mean, this was a very close month. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was insane. Insane. Absolutely
Just
insane.
saw it. Anna's comment. Dude, I love Beetlejuice. I also love
With the
Beetlejuice.
description of we have a ghost like, dude, I love Beetlejuice. Yeah, no, it's good. It's a good one. It's very and Jennifer Coolidge is in it.
Love Jennifer Coolidge.
She's hysterical in this one. She gives the vibe she brings to the function in this film for the time she's in it is like Kerrigan in Casper. If Kerrigan was like a reality TV show host. It is very fun. I forget what I voted for because all of them sounded good. I think
they did all sound good.
I don't remember. It was tough, dude. This was a hard one. But yeah, Man-Made. I'm very excited for Man-Made Monsters. Man-Made Monsters, I'll let you guys know a little bit about it before we wrap things up. Man-Made Monsters will be our book next month. It is by Andrea L. Rogers. She is absolutely amazing and fabulous. If you have read Never Whistle at Night, you have already read one of her short story, one of her short stories in that collection. Solagi should never have to live on human blood, but sometimes things just happen to 16-year-old girls. Following one extended Cherokee family across the centuries, from the tribe's homelands in Georgia in the 1830s to World War I, the Vietnam War, our own present, and well into the future, each story delivers a slice of a particular time period. Alongside each story, Cherokee artist and language technologist Jeff Edwards delivers illustrations that incorporate Cherokee these words are hard. Syllabary. Yes. It'll be here on Halloween. Woo! I will tell you, the audiobook for this is fantastic. And this is going to be one of the very rare times that I ask you, if you are able to get your hands on a physical copy, I highly, highly, highly recommend you to do so. The artwork in it is absolutely gorgeous. You get artwork at the beginning of every chapter. So first and foremost, there is a family tree in the beginning of the book that is actually, there's 2 family trees that is very helpful. That it will be very helpful for the throughout the book. I will say, I understand that this is presented as a collection of short stories. Though that may be true, they all connect. They do. We love extra detail. Yes. And I will say, if you are fortunate enough to get your hands on a hard copy, a hardcover copy, God, it is gorgeous. And you will appreciate the what is under the dust jacket once you finish the book. Like, it'll click for you.
Look under the dust jacket.
Yes, when you finish the book and you look under the dust jacket, you're gonna understand what is under what's under the dust jacket, and you might cry. And I love that for you, because I did. This is one of my, I will scream into the ether about this book. I love this book so much. I'm also very excited because I think I know what we will be doing for our movie night. I am a little undecided. I have 2, maybe 3 options to choose between. I have a funny, a fucked up, and I have Funny and Fucked Up and a we'll watch it movie. So that goes with this film. And I'm quite excited. That goes with this book. So I'm very excited for November. I'm very excited. And I can't wait for you all to read this.
You've been wanting people to read this book for a while as well.
This
Like,
is
you read it a while ago.
yes, this was the first book I read of 2023. And I fell in love with it. It's another YA, but please don't let that run you off. I asked Andrea, I was like, I feel like this should have been put in the adult section for so many different reasons. And her answer when I said, why don't you write more adult horror? And she goes, because somebody has to write badass horror for the younger readers too. And I was like, say less. Say less. You have my respect forever. So I love Andrea. She earns my respect forever and ever. And I'm really excited for you guys to meet the family in this book. It will make you laugh. It'll make you cry. It'll make you scared. The audiobook, if you are a fan of Reservation Dogs, one of the narrators is one of the kiddos in Reservation Dogs. I think it's the one who
cool.
does. I think it's the one who's Cheese.
Oh, fun.
Yeah,
Cool.
they're one of the narrators.
Use a credit.
Yeah, it's very good. It is very good. But yeah, and then tomorrow we'll post the graphics, so feel free to share and invite your friends and your friends' friends. Be annoying with it. And we will also be posting in the upcoming week, we'll be posting the calendar for November, and we will be posting a poll for December. We will not be doing a vote for December because we already discussed the book that we will be doing. I'm going to double announce what we will be doing. We will be doing Candy Cane Kills for December. We're going to do a poll to see if we will be doing both Candy Cane Kills again and Candy Cane Kills, or just Candy Cane Kills again. We will be doing a poll to see
the first one.
Yes, that is the first one. If I was not smart enough, I have both of them in my living room. I should have brought them in here. I should have brought all 3 books in here.
I just looked up and realized that I'm like, there's a shortwave box. I wonder if it's that shortwave box.
The shortwave box I have next to me is Cicada. I'm like, oops, that's not it. Whoops.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, if you order books from Shortwave Publishing, they come in this super cool little box from the Killer VHS collection that looks like a VHS.
And you get a super cool membership card. But yeah, so highly recommend. Lots of fun. We will be doing a poll to see who has read Candy Cane Kills, who has not, so we can see if we need to do a double feature for it. I think you guys could make it. I don't think that would be asking too much or impossible. I think you guys could do both and be fine. But I want to give you guys enough time that if you need to purchase the copies, so we have them for the discussion for December, because I know how chaotic the holidays can get. I want to give you guys time, especially because I am hoping to get us a special guest for the December discussion. So, with that being said, we have had a wonderful night discussing Here Lies a Vengeful Bitch. I hope you guys had a great month. We look forward to seeing you all in November.
Yes. Thank you for joining us. This was
Yeah.
so fun.
Y'all have a happy Halloween. Be safe. Keep your jack-o'-lanterns lit.
Don't light the
Um,
black flame candle.
yeah, and then if
Well,
anybody plays, oh yeah, don't let, yeah. Oh, I mean, depends on which.
True.
Depends on which.
Be wary of what black flame candles you light.
There we go. And if anybody plays Dead by Daylight, come join us over in G3. We'll see you there. Happy Halloween night, y'all. Bye, guys. Laura, don't leave.
I won't leave.